So I'm really glad that you've got up to this far, and there's a lot of knowledge that you've gone through and consumed, and I can see with the progress, with the example sets and everything that's coming your way, you're gonna get a lot better day after day. That is my promise to you. Okay, you're gonna get better day after day here on out. Now today we're gonna be talking about pair selection. Now why pair selection? Why is this so important? And why is this a chapter into this course? I want you to understand, pair selection is like any other business, right? You want to open a restaurant business, you have to know exactly where you want that restaurant to be and what type of food you're going to sell. You want to do real estate, you want to know exactly what location do you want to buy a house, because you can buy a house anywhere in the world, but it won't perform the same until you do the research of where you need to buy the house, right? Same thing, you can trade anything in the market any time of the day, but there is a certain element of research that needs to be done on why, when, and where. Okay, so this all ties in with everything that you've learned in the previous week about breaches and all of that stuff going into today. So let me take that knowledge that you had from last week and extend it a little bit further. Okay, so first things you want to do, if you're using TradingView, this is what you can do. However, if you're using your other platforms, you can just draw these lines as you want. Okay, so in TradingView, what I do is I click on settings, okay, and inside settings, I go into appearance, I click on session breaks, and in here, I just make the line a little bit thicker. Okay, you can choose however you want it, and it will show you this line right here where my mouse is going up and down. Okay, so that line represents the close of New York. Okay. In the stock market, you're only going to have one session line always. Even in the Forex market, you get that. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. So you'll see, let me take a mouse and a marker. You'll see that here's one close of New York going all the way till the next close of New York. Okay, this is on my local time here in Dubai. That's the timing of the closing of New York until the closing of New York the next day, which means right after that, Asia begins. Okay, and after Asia, we have London. Okay, and after London, we have New York. Okay, I'll just put NY for New York. You get the idea. Okay, and then as New York ends, the line shows up again. So what you're having is 3 different sessions showing up between one dotted line to the next dotted line. Okay, this represents 24 hours of the day. But unlike the stock market, in the Forex market, you have 3 different sessions. In the stock market, when the day closes and the next day opens, you're dealing with only New York or only Tokyo or only whichever stock market you're trading. Okay? So for those of you guys who are in the stock industry, it's very simple because your session breaks will be represented based on yesterday's movement, and that's it. In the Forex market, you have Asia, you have London, and New York. Okay, so let me refine this a little bit for you so you can understand. Pair selection comes a lot from, remember in the earlier chapters where I talked about how if we need to know what the big boy is trying to do going from point A to point B, okay, let's say a news comes out, and the news was bad news, and we know the big boy is looking to probably take that market because it was bad news for Euro, for example, and he needs to go from a distance from here to possibly down here, right? Now, we can understand that theoretically, but we need a safe place to get in, okay? So what I'm going to be teaching you in this several videos is something called the cheese edge, okay? The cheese, Cheese, the cheese edge. Now, all the bigger trades and the big boy trades, the one that make a lot of money, that is going to be later in the Iconic Trader program. Right now, my main focus is for you to get onto an edge like the cheese trades to make sure you pick up your consistency and make some money day in and day out, before we can get you onto something much more powerful to make you big trades that can give you anywhere between 5 figures, 6 figures, and 7 figures in annual turnovers. So first we need to understand how these cheese trades work. And the way that these cheese trades work is just like that. all you're doing is when there's a movement happening, okay, when there's a movement happening, the reason why it's called cheese, you're taking a slice off of that piece and saying, that's it for me. That's what I want to do. That's a cheese. You're just taking a thin piece off of that whole thing. You're not looking to take the entire chunk. That we'll cover later, like I said, in the Iconic Trader program. For now, we're going to focus on the cheese because this is by far the quickest, easiest, and the fastest profits I've seen new traders develop over the years that I've been teaching. Okay? So I want you to master this because you can start trading and making profits into this by the end of next month. Okay, by the end of next month, because this is I'm gonna teach you everything that there needs to be known for this. So, having that said, pair selection is very important. Okay, pair selection is very important. So what we're trying to do here now is I want you to understand one thing first about pair selection is if the big boy is looking to take the markets from one end to the next end, what we need to see is, are they here? We want to know, is there movement for us to join? Okay, is there activity for us to join? So that's our whole goal in this chapters is to find out, how do you know which ones are causing activity and which ones I should focus on? So let's move on to the next video.